Here.
Sandy Kennedy.
Here.
Mrs. Smith. Deborah Williams.
Here.
Town Manager Nick Lively.
Here.
Town Attorney Cindy Carberry.
Here.
Great, thanks. That brings us to item number 3, approval agenda. Are there any changes to tonight's agenda?
Andrew, I just had a question
Yes.
about C. I didn't think it was worth polling to have a discussion about, but is that normal, the rent on a building like that? So it would go down to $100 a month. If I read that
Oh,
correctly.
for the, let's see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, we have some agreements where it's $10 a year for the year, just so there's some monetary height.
Okay. And would we ever consider moving the sheriff into that building there, or would we like to have him in the,
No.
because we're going to start being charged rent
Yeah.
in that location?
We need the area for, well, at least keep one engine in there. To get the sheriffs in there, we'd have to remodel the whole building.
Okay. Good, that's it.
Okay. Seeing none, I'll entertain a motion to approve the agenda. Trustee Williams, second by Trustee Gregoros. Discussion, all in favor? Unanimous. That brings us to item number 4, reports, questions, and issues. Anybody want to start tonight?
Sure.
Trustee Williams?
Let's see here. Let me get there. So I attended an OSAC meeting, Open Space Advisory Committee, and we had several members that were leaving and moving on to other things. And so we thank them for being an enormous integral part of the OSAC history. Without them, we would not have open space sales tax or even an open space advisory committee. So that was Dana D'Souza, Bob McCool, John Nyberger, Tom Pratt, and Jim Payne. And so all of these members should consider themselves in a very important part of town history for Superior. And I thank them all very, very much and hope to see them in other capacities in volunteering for the town or in any other capacity. So that does it for me.
Great. Trustee Gregoros?
Yeah, I just wanted to say that I've been on the road a lot, so I haven't attended any meetings, but we just had, we interviewed 9 potential candidates for our committees, and just really impressed with the talent and the willingness of these good folks to come down and volunteer their time and effort and services to serve our community. I think that's really great. So just, it was a very impressive interviewing process with all of them.
Great. Trustee Pennington?
Just a couple updates on Louisville Library. I'm going to be at a meeting on at 8:30 Tuesday, tomorrow morning, for strategic planning for that for the library, and this is part of a periodic strategic planning update, sort of like we do the comp plan. They did release, I think all the board members got it, a survey done as part of, I think it's a biennial or triennial survey that happens in Louisville about satisfaction with the Louisville Library, and it was quite high. I think it's improved on all levels over already high scores in the past. So staff over there is rightfully proud of those results. On the Same Page book for this year, it's the second year of the On the Same Page program, was released over the weekend, and On the Same Page, by the way, is a collaboration between the 3 communities of Lafayette, Louisville, and Superior. It's the curious incident of the dog in the nighttime. It's a light-hearted piece of fiction as opposed to last year's pretty intense piece of nonfiction. So there will be a lot of programming over the next 2 months built around that. Just one request. I tried to look at the survey. It's the comp plan survey on the homepage, and I could not find it this morning. Is it there? Am I not looking in the right place?
Yeah, because I received feedback from the consultant after we posted it and got word out. Their response rate went up by some X number.
Okay. Did you e-blast that?
Yeah, yes, we did.
Okay. Yeah, I've been sort of out of the loop. I didn't see that e-blast, so I'm delighted to see that we've done that. And then I was because of other priorities, was not able to make the open house for the advisory committee. So if somebody who did can sort of report how that went, I'd appreciate that.
Okay. Trustee Hanson.
Yep, I don't have much. I don't think we've had a chance to discuss as a board us not getting the grant, the GOCO grant for the park. And I'd like to get that on the table sooner than later to talk about what we're going to do. I'd really like to keep the budget in place that we had budgeted for the park. So I'd like to discuss that as soon as we
For
can.
Town 9, you mean?
For Town 9, yeah.
By the budget in place, do you mean 700 or do you mean
700,
minus the?
yeah. So we missed out on 150,000. We still have, was it 100,000 for, what's the other resource we have for that?
Conservation.
Conservation Trust.
Conservation
We
Trust,
already
yeah.
have that,
but
though.
Yes. So that 150,000, though, will go a long way to put the real nice final touches on that park. So I'd like to see how we can come up with that if we can.
I thought it was in the budget.
It's budgeted, but the grant would put it in there, too, assuming we're going to get it.
It was assumed that we received the grant money, so offset the project costs.
Right.
By 150,000.
So that's scheduled to come before the board next meeting, and we, as staff, are coming up with options for the board to consider.
The board likes options.
Is one of those options reducing some park amenities or?
No, it's more on the budget side.
Can you make sure that you have the other
Thank you.
version in there, too?
That I just mentioned?
Yes.
Yes.
And cross our fingers that the bids come in really good.
There you go.
But-
Like 150,000 less.
Right.
And along those lines, the debrief with GOCO, did we
Yes.
get any feedback from them?
We did, and basically it was, and their conversations with GOCO was just such a competitive grant application this go around. that,
Okay.
They were only, it sounded like they were only selecting net new projects to the communities, not,
So they didn't see a deficiency, it was just a
right, yeah.
competitive process?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Good. That's it. Thanks.
Trustee Cirilli?
I went to the Chamber of Commerce annual awards dinner last Thursday, or Tuesday, and it was a really good affair, and nice to meet with see all those people again. And I'd like to congratulate Larry Dorsey, who was recognized by the Chamber, I think, as a volunteer of the year.
Volunteer of the year.
Great.
So that was pretty special. And Heather, our Chamber of Commerce person that's here tonight, did a wonderful job with that, as did the Chamber.
I believe it's actually Superior Achiever of the
Yeah.
year. Yeah.
The other thing I did was took a Rocky Flats tour last Thursday, I guess that was Thursday, and was impressed with the amount of revegetation that has taken place on the site in the industrial area, which was really critical to preventing runoff and
In the industrial area?
yeah. There's all the areas that got torn down had to be revegetated, and revegetation was critical to preventing runoff and assisting in surface and groundwater monitoring. So that's come along amazingly. Saw deer all over the place, saw an elk herd.
Wow.
Didn't know right across the street from our open space is elk herd that we never get on our side of the street. I don't know why. But that was nice, and saw the critical surface and groundwater monitoring spots that they've been, and the dams that they were breaching, and that they've been working with the local communities about the last 2 years. And it was a really good tour. I got to see places I'd never seen in the years I worked there, plus I had never recognized the place from when I was there. Amazing.
Great.
So it was good. That's all.
All right, I don't have much to report. I'm happy to be back from Florida. Enjoy being here in Colorado. I have to toot our own horn when I look at planning in Florida compared to planning in Colorado and town Superior. So I think we do a good job, and I'm not sure that they do the best job. I don't have much to report. There is circulating some information from RTD about US 36 Fast Tracks program. And since they didn't go out to ballot and due to their funding gap, they're talking about swapping either part of the rail and eliminating BRT versus keeping BRT and not proceeding forward with the rail. I think that discussion is ongoing and is not going to be a happy discussion depending on how RTD proceeds through the DRCOG process.
Are they submitting this to DRCOG?
Yes, it's part of their, I don't know if it's 805, 508, 403, I don't remember what they're, but for the fiscally
409 or-
constrained. Yeah, so I know there's some number associated with it that DRCOG reviews in terms of RTD's budget, so that will be coming your way.
208, 209, it doesn't matter.
There you go. And that's all I had. Town manager?
Thank you, Mayor. Reminder, Wednesday was our joint meeting with the Louisville City Council on the interchange, 6 p.m., or 6:30.
6:30.
6:30, sorry. No dinner, so before you come.
And that's at the Louisville Library?
No, it's at the City Hall in
Oh,
the
City.
council chambers on Second.
Okay.
CDOT released a press release that was attached to digest. They shortlisted 3 teams for the Phase 2 US 36 project, and interesting enough, one of those teams includes the company Isolex, which is
I saw that.
the same company that was interested in building the Jefferson Parkway.
They better not choose that if they know what's good for them.
Let's see. I've been asked to be on, the sheriff's office is doing a strategic long-term planning process for their department. And I'm going to be sitting in on the steering committee, which is going to last probably 8 to 10 months. So, but it's only a meeting or 2 a month, so I'll be doing that. Let's see. We had a leak with one of our valves in the lift station last weekend. I want to mention it because our field crew did an amazing job, along with Ramey, who's our wastewater treatment plant operator, and actually got help from Superior Maintenance, which is George Kuffner's company. They had to act quick to make sure that those flows didn't back up, which would have interrupted service for this part of town. Got a temporary solution in place, and then once we got the new valve, got that installed, and nobody knew anything wiser, so they did a great job.
And that was electronically notified to Ramey that there was a valve problem, or how did?
Yeah, we have monitoring systems in there, and when the line goes off, it's sent out. So.
Great.
And thank you for the picture.
Yeah,
It's, you know,
it's better now.
Kind of nice to
down in
revisit.
there. You don't want to go down in there; it gets a little messy. So, let's see. So the street construction projects are just getting start up here at 88. They've started to work on the pedestrian light installation. So there'll be work on 88th Street periodically throughout the next couple months. The street rehabilitation project is going to get started this week and next. We have a community meeting for those residents that will be affected on Wednesday, June 13th, down at the fire station number 5 community room, which is off of Indiana. Those residents have been notified, and I think we'll probably get a pretty good turnout. We've been doing quite a bit of outreach to those residents to try to identify any issues that they might need as the project takes off, because there'll be some interruptions in them being able to get to their driveways. And so we want to make sure and try to identify those, as many of those up front as we can. So
What was the date on that again, Matt?
Wednesday, June 13th. It's the same night as our joint meeting with the Louisville City
Oh.
Council.
Right day after tomorrow.
Yeah.
So, The bleachers arrived for Community Park, and somebody looking to install those over the next couple of weeks.
Great, thank you, man.
Let's see. Oh, we're doing a joint water services study with the city of Louisville to see if there's opportunities where we can possibly combine services or, one of the things is if we have excess capacity on the water side, we may service Louisville, and they have excess capacity on the wastewater collection side, and they would take our collection for that. So it'll be a study that identifies those different opportunities that we can explore more. So the meeting, I'll just go back real quick. The meeting is 7 to 8 p.m. for the streets project on June 13th.
Thank you.
I included an attachment today that I sent to the board with regard to our approach for weed and pest control program that's been put in place for a number of years now. It's got some good information in there. And I know that the park staff did a test area last year at Town 9 that did, they tried some organic applications, and those didn't work out. And then they're looking at maybe a test application near the South Pool, trying a couple of different scenarios this year to see if something works. And they will be working, I think RCAC, the committee, wants to look at this further, and ProStack possibly wants to look at this. And once those committees have had a chance to look at it, we'll bring back to the board for a presentation to provide you information, and that way the committees can also present their recommendations as well. So good timing. And then if we decide to make any changes, we can include those in the 2013 budget. And if there's any information or questions on what was sent out to the board, just let me know, and we can get that to you. There was some questions from the board about crime stats for our town, and the sheriff puts out this community bulletin from his department, and you can sign up to receive this, so we're going to get that information out to residents. It's got good information on what the department's doing and crime statistics and different things like that that might be beneficial to residents. So.
They have an electronic version,
Yes.
so we can link that to a newsletter.
Yeah, so we'll put a link on the website as well. But it's a good, and I've got 3 here, I can pass those around.
I'm sorry to interrupt,
Yeah,
but back to the previous topic about
Yeah.
the weed control. For the residents that are viewing this, because we posted that we were going to be talking about this a little bit more, and
Yeah.
you did the presentation, so I was going to cut and paste what you sent to us and post that on the CAC, just so they're kind of in the know of what we
Sure.
know.
Yeah.
And then let them know to be prepared to see the presentation in a month or so, or whatever ProStack.
Yeah,
I'll get
that's
that.
fair.
Okay.
And, it's a program that we've had in place for years, and we think it's effective, and the costs aren't extreme, and the app, we have to follow the state laws as far as application goes and these things, so.
Thank you.
I think that was it.
Great. Anything from the attorney?
Nothing for me, thanks.
Town clerk? All right, that brings us to item number 5, public comment on consent agenda and non-agenda items. That then brings us to item number 6, presentations, and welcome Superior Chamber of Commerce.
Hello, good evening, and officially happy summer, I believe. As we celebrate our annual dinner, Trustee Sorelli mentioned with Trustee Hansen's help, I just wanted to acknowledge those awards that were given at our annual dinner last Tuesday night. So it was our time to celebrate. They are actually awarded each individual plaque, as well as perpetual plaques are actually hung right here in Town Hall for anyone that would like to see the last 5 years that we have done this. We had over 8 restaurants serve a fantastic dinner, and then we awarded 7 awards. The first award was awarded to the Independent Business of the Year by the Camera, and it was awarded to Professional Carpet Systems, Sean and Anna Bisayon, who are residents here, and very actively involved in both the schools and the business community. So congratulations go to them. Our Superior Achiever, as the trustees did point out, was sponsored by Chick-fil-A and was awarded to our own Larry Dorsey, and in the past has been awarded to Miss Phyllis sitting here. So it is a great list of people, so we were very proud to award Larry for that and got him there to his great chagrin when he did not know he was winning it. So we are excited about that, as well as Software Team Real Estate sponsors our Educator of the Year, so we try to get some nominations from the outside community on all of these, but mostly obviously Educator of the Year. And this year Nancy Newton from Monarch High School was awarded. She's a language arts teacher, and many students had contributed some great stories about how she makes Shakespeare come alive. Pete Messimer and Superior Liquor awarded our Service Group of the Year award to WOW Superior, which is at Superior Elementary. If you do not know, they're a service group that is happens to be a group of women who were awarded a grant, and WOW stands for Wheels or Walk. So they really made a huge impact at the community as far as Superior Elementary and the areas surrounding on less car usage and kind of walking together to school. So congratulations go out to them. Our Volunteer of the Year was awarded by Key Equipment Finance, was awarded to a name you might also recognize, Billy Mills, who is an integral part of many different sports teams in the area, but mostly Superior Mustangs, so we awarded him with the Volunteer of the Year. And then our Large Business of the Year was the Renaissance. Renaissance Boulder Flatirons Hotel, just over the border, so to speak, was sponsored by Land Rover Flatirons, and they were the recipients of that. We then did award a 7th award that was to a surprise to I think most of the people in the room, was what we named, and it was a suggestion to the nominating committee, Key to the Chamber, and we awarded that to Kevin Colon, who I know you have recognized in many different ways from his service to the community, but it was the way the Chamber got to thank him for his guidance, not only as a board member, but a large part of our community events. So that was just an overview of what we had. So
Great,
thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you, Heather.
I have to say that Billy Mills is probably the hardest working parent volunteer in the entire community. There's a lot of hardworking volunteers, so that's really saying a lot. So let's see, that brings us item number 7, consent agenda. And on the consent agenda tonight is acceptance of the minutes of May 29, 2011 Board of Trustees meeting, acceptance of the minutes of the Open Space Advisory Committees and the Parks, Recreation, Open Space and Trails Advisory Committee meetings, an adoption of a resolution approving a lease agreement with Rocky Mountain Fire Protection District, and an adoption of a resolution approving an agreement with Colby Striping, Inc. for the street striping project. With that, I will entertain a motion to
Make a motion to approve the consent agenda as stated.
by Trustee Gregorus, second by Trustee Williams. Discussion? Phyllis?
Mr. Rowley?
Yes.
Gregorus?
Yes.
Johnson?
Yes.
Buckle?
Yes.
Pennington?
Yes.
Williams?
Yes.
Okay, great. That brings us to item number 8, executive session to determine positions relative to matters that may be subject to negotiations, develop a strategy for negotiations, and/or instruct negotiators pursuant to CRS 24-6-402(4)(e) regarding the US 36 interchange.
Excuse me a minute.
Yes.
Before we do that, at what
Certainly.
point were we going to discuss this response to Mayor Quinn?
Just give me, we can either talk about it now or offline or whatever your pleasure is.
I guess my pleasure is to discuss it now.
Okay.
If anybody else's pleasure is to do so.
Okay, that's fine.
My comment on it is just for the viewing public. Mayor Quinn wrote us a letter taking issue with our statements that we don't believe Rocky Flats has been properly cleaned up enough to develop. And so I would like to see the language in our response letter, the last paragraph of the last line of the third paragraph changed. because I personally don't agree with it, and that it says, "Now it is my desire that we will be able to come to some mutually satisfactory solution to this dilemma in the not-too-distant future." I think that makes us look wishy-washy on our long-stated position on this matter, that we're open to negotiating on whether or not additional testing should be done on the cleanup. So I don't like where that statement takes us. So I would like to see
Whatever
this
your pleasure
reversed.
is, from my perspective, that is a completely non-informational sentence, just trying to be pleasant, and it doesn't, I think, give up any of what we anticipate is our concern, so, but I don't care.
I have to agree that this is from one mayor speaking to another mayor, actually. That's a polite way to address the mayor of Bloomfield. It doesn't weaken our negotiation or our position at all. It just, I think he might be reading too much into it, frankly.
No, I always do these mayor-to-mayor letters as public record, and public record can appear in the newspaper as the headline the next day. And if this headline appeared that Superior Mayor amenable to a satisfactory solution on Rocky Flats dispute in not-too-distant future, I think it says something. I'm certainly not willing to go there and publicize.
So just from my perspective, the mutually satisfactory solution is that they agree to our terms, so I'm not sure.
I think it takes us down a road that I don't want to see us go. Having said that, I'll let others comment.
I think it's a newspaper was to say exactly what he said without interviewing Mayor Mucko, then they're making a lot of assumptions. I think that if they interview and ask him specifically, well, what do you mean by that, then he can basically say what he said just now. That would be the end of the story. That's what would be published in the newspaper, so.
I personally feel, just to play it safe, we just end it with, I appreciate your recognition that the Board of Trustees continues to oppose the construction of the proposed parkway. Perhaps a meeting with the board to discuss this matter further could bring clarity to our perspectives. Please let me know if you think this would be helpful. I think that's good enough. I think that gives us room to say, hey, we can talk. It doesn't say that we're willing to change our position in any way, shape, or form, or not change. It is just nebulous, a little bit more nebulous than that statement that you're finding issue with. I think it would be easier just to take it all together out, and I think you still accomplish the same thing that you're trying to accomplish.
Okay. I once again, don't have strong feelings, just want to make sure that we have a, polite letter back. They send us a letter, we obviously don't agree with their points, but we need to make sure that we keep the lines of communication open.
So Trustee Williams, you're saying to just delete this sentence that it is my desire until,
Right.
just delete that sentence?
Just delete that sentence, and I think you accomplish both of these,
Is that,
their point of view.
That's from the mayor, so if that's his desire,
Once
I
again,
mean,
But it still accomplishes what he's trying to do.
I take all these
as well.
things with a little Zen philosophy. If this is going to cause great angst with the board, I'm okay with it.
I am very interested. The tone of the letter from Mayor Quinn had a certain mission to it, and that mission was to get us to the bargaining table to drop our concerns about the testing at Rocky Flats. That's the mission I get from his letter. I don't want to play into that intent of his. We can be polite. I believe in being polite, but I don't believe in yielding on this particular issue, and I think we can be politely unyielding, and I would accept Deb's
I don't care. That's
edit.
fine. We'll restructure the letter as that. I mean, I don't think
I
it makes any
don't feel
difference
like
one
the
way or
mayor's
the other.
yielding anything, though. I do need to state that on record. I think he's taking the high road, and he's tried to...
That's where we think we should all be.
Exactly. So I actually applaud you for the way you've written it. But I'm okay if you guys want to take out the last sentence, that's fine,
Okay,
too.
done.
I don't know how you guys feel about
We'll
it.
print out another letter for me to sign.
and just delete that last.
through it. Maybe some whiteout. Can we do whiteout?
That's fine.
All right, great. So I think that,
I'm sorry, one last thing.
Certainly.
We're way ahead of schedule, and we normally do public comment a little bit later, and
Yeah, if anybody, we can try public comment again.
No.
That's specific.
Okay.
Still nothing.
All right.
All right, so I think I need a motion for what I said a little earlier. Trustee Williams, second by Trustee Gregoris, regarding the executive session.
Yes.
Yes, okay.
The answer is yes.
Discussion? All in favor? Unanimous, we're in executive session. Thank you.